Okay, and we are live again on this wonderful Sunday. Well, a lot of fun things have happened since New Year's. Venezuela, silver, all kinds of things. And the future, well, I mean, the year's off to a good start. Military action, second day into the year. Uh, Financial issues, silver going berserk. You know, a lot of economic problems. Mr. Big Country, good, glad you can make it. Yeah, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen and how crazy it's going to get. But this year looks like it's going to be another interesting one. So we'll see. But so far, so good. Everything's been calm here with me. No issues or problems. Got through New Year's unscathed, unlike some other people that I know. Uh, but that's why I don't leave the house New Year's Eve. Okay, I just don't. All right, so another Sunday, see who shows up. Forget what we were talking about last time. There were people asking about a few different rifles, something that I have no knowledge of. But I did get some good reference books on the AR-15, M16 rifles. They were quite expensive, but well worth it. But like I said, looking at it, it's more good. Yeah, didn't leave the home. That's a wise thing to do. But did get some reference book. They're more photographs than actual history writing or technical knowledge. Like the Star books give you a whole background of Spanish gun makers in general, and there's a lot of reading, a lot of nice photographs, and production records and everything else. This Vickers guide. Now, Vickers also makes guides to AK-47, 1911s, a lot. And these books, well, when you see the video, I'll glance over the book. They're expensive, but they're kind of worth it. And there's information and things in there that I never knew existed. So just the amount of knowledge I gained from purchasing the books on the topic of what Colt has produced and the prototypes and offshoots and that, a lot of knowledge to absorb. Spend some time with that. So that gives me another level of professional ism to look into and make some videos. Retro collections coming along pretty good. I added the one, got another one. Gonna see how things kind of iron out here. This New Year's going to be hectic for me also. Morning, Tim. Hey, how's it going? Morning. Um, yeah, just do a search for Vickers guides. I got the two ARs, and I got volume 1 of the AKs. They're not cheap, but I guarantee you they're well worth the money he's asking for them. The format and everything is fantastic. Yeah, well, now Brownell's just see. I think he had a deal with Nodak Spud to make those lowers. Okay, and Nodak Spud also made retro uppers, had the forgings and that contracted out. Uh, but when that company, when that individual, the one guy that left, because he also made really great AK receivers, all the different styles and types, the heavy Hugo ones and everything else. He made some quality stuff. And what was nice about that, if you were building a kit, when you ordered that receiver, it was serialized and it went to your FFL. So then when you put the kit together, you could legally liquidate the weapon if you wanted, without breaking any laws. If you just folded one up or took a blank and made it uh, without no numbers on it, you would be violating the law if you gave it away, even if you gave the gun away. Okay, that's the thing about building kits. Um, that's why I kind of avoid it. And then the expense to do it, the tooling you have to buy up. You know, you'd be paying more for the proper tooling to fold up receivers and do everything and all the jigs and little things you need to make them headspace gauges. Just to build one gun ain't worth it. So if you do end up buying all that, you're going to end up building a bunch of them, and this is where you could get in trouble in that with doing this stuff. So I kind of gave up on the kit building. Yeah, yeah, and I mean, so Brownells will never make, I guess, because when you go to their website and look it up, it says no longer available as a complete rifle, but wherever they're getting the upper receivers from, and there'll be a video. I bought one from Brownells for an 11.7 or 177 little carbine. I got to build a pistol out of it because the flash hider's not pinned and welded, and it's got a 10-inch barrel instead of 11.5 or whatever the hell they do. That other one that you could build into a rifle was not available, but I may have to buy one from PSA or H&R. But it's it's gonna be like 1.2K. I mean, they're expensive. They're neat as hell. And I also made another video. Anyone that sees, I got those budget ARs or a modern AR with a little folding stock or something. That's what most people have or buy. I show them retro, like the A1 or the 601, the older long guns. Every time they pick them up, a percentage of the people that look at them tell me that they want one. Okay, not 50, 60, but like a quarter of them. They pick that old style gun up, the lightweight, the way the triangular handguards are. They tell, where can I get one of these? So they have kind of a mistake. It is shooting something like that. Going back to the old ways is it's a different feel. It's a different experience. Other than all these cranked out little 16-inch barrel, ARs with the popular thing now is like that last group I had of budget guns. You got a 16-inch barrel with a 15-inch long handguard. So the little uh, end of the flash hider net sticks out. But, the idea is you could attach a whole bunch of stuff. You got room to clamp all these things on there because that's another thing when I bought them books. The second volume covers the modern stuff that was used like in the Iraq War and that past 20 years. The amount of accessories that get clamped on to these M4s or M16A4s, which are flat tops or whatever. The amount of crap they mount onto this gun, it starts weighing 15 pounds with sights, magnifiers, lights. I have no idea. It's because I never got into it. I never knew what the military or special forces or these guys used or do use. I do know someone said that in the military, you no longer qualify with a rifle, I guess any of the branches, with iron sights. Everything is a flat top with some sort of a optic on there is how you qualify now. They don't make the military personnel in general, I guess, shoot with. And I've seen it on the Navy ships. They got some sort of M16 variation with some sort of a sight that's clamped on there, not iron sights. So I guess that's true. They didn't have that crap when I was in the service, put it that way. And a lot of those things were in development. You know, the A2 was the big, going from the A1 to the A2 was the big thing when I was in the 80s and that. And they started coming up with developing the M4s and all this other weird stuff. And then now that book did kind of educate me on what is available, what they're using, and that, and it's pretty interesting. So a lot of my spare time, instead of sitting in front of this computer, will be spent sitting in front of them books for quite a bit of time, gain some more knowledge. But that's how you do it, you know, time and effort. So we got a few people here today. We had some people show up New Year's Day. I had a live for a little bit there. Um, and some folks showed up for a while. As we were talking about some things there. But, you know, I don't know how long I'm going to go with this, maybe an hour to most today. Uh, I got to get prepped. I got a busy week ahead of me, things to do. So I get everything I need to take care of. I'll be busy this week, so I got to take care of a bunch of things around the house and get things ready. Uh, yeah. Excuse me. Bit out of it today, bit sleepy. Have some coffee. All right, glad to hear that. Did you get your own apartment finally? I know you were having trouble uh, finding a place. I know you had some issues there with getting all your arrangements made out. You know, that was months ago. Well, I'm glad you could join the chat and you're back with us again. All right, that's good to hear, Joe. I'm glad things are starting to work out for you. You know, these times now, they're going to get rough. I know a couple people lost their jobs, and it's pretty uncertain. I mean, it's wild every day. You know, get through New Year's uneventful, minding my own business, sitting around New Year's Day, and then the day after, my wife's running, or it was yesterday actually, it was Friday. You know, New Year's Day, Friday, no problem, no incident. Saturday morning, I'm in here checking my emails, and my wife's running around. They attacked Venezuela. You know, and I'm like, oh boy. So you don't know. They're talking about it, but I really did not believe that they would do anything. You know, but I guess I was wrong. Generally, yeah, if you prep them right, and it depends where they're stored. You know, if they're stored like buried or in a river or something, yeah, you're gonna have issues. But if they're stored somewhere, even in an attic or something that wasn't quite climate controlled, if you prep them right, generally, as long as there's no moisture or humidity, you know, depending where you are, they should be all right. Yeah, a lot of that's political. There was another video that somebody said there's something else going on there other than the oil and drugs. So I'm gonna try to watch that later today when I get some time or in the evening, see what this guy's take is on. But if you know, you can drive yourself insane watching YouTube videos because the conflict and what information is coming, if it's true, if it's AI generated, uh, you know, who knows what's the truth and what's not anymore. Yeah, like I said, as long now I've seen some, like I had a brand new 870 shotgun, an old one from the 80s blue. Somebody went and put it in a gun sleeve and left it in an attic or something for about 20, 30 years. And the heat, cold, left that fine little speckly rust. Of course, it wasn't coated with anything either. You know, if you put a good coating, some sort of anti-rust preventer, Ballistol, or there was another thing, gun spray or something. That shit was like a waxy stuff. You spray it on there, a couple coats, and it would, you know, I could leave the guns for years, and they never had to worry about rusting in a case or cabinet or anything. Never had to worry. No. All right. Well, that's good to hear. Yeah, you know, current events are fine when you got time on your hands, but there ain't a damn thing you can do about it. So getting worked up over it, you know, kind of just a waste of time. All right. Oh yeah, there's a reason they make a whole array of powders. Okay. Personally, I favor IMR powders. Always have in that for rifles. All my military rifles, all that other stuff. The old antiques, I use Accurate. I think it's 5744 is what I use on all the old big 40 and larger calibers. And as far as pistols go, Bullseye handles everything from like 357 Magnum on down or 38 Special on down, nines, Makarovs, any of that. I haven't done any work with 7.62 by 25. That might be something special. 9 millimeter Largo, I use like Blue Dot, and I use Blue Dot 357 Magnum. I got a nice load with Blue Dot. And then like in the 44s and that, Unique 45 ACP, Bullseye's a winner. You can use Unique too. I've done them both, but those are mainly the main powders I use. I've had assortments and tried different types and burn speeds for different calibers. And, you know, Hodgdon $48.95 or something. I'm leaning more towards starting to use Hodgdon's. I don't like them as much as I like the IMR. But you can't get IMR no more. So, you go with the next best thing. All right. Good luck. Yeah, rifle case forming, but not loading rifle cartridges. Yeah, I've used it for, actually, that's the best thing to use for case forming, the fast burning powder. But it's good all around handgun ammo powder. Yep, and it's getting hard to find powders. The used to be, when they restock, just about everything out there was available. Okay. Even when you went to a local store, I mean, they had 15, 20 different types. Now that ain't quite so. And even when the big online stores send you a thing in stock, some of the stuff's been out of stock forever, a long time. And if they do get it in, it's sold out in a matter of 24 hours, 48 hours, you know. So that could be a pain. Morning. That's why now I'm kind of concentrating on guns where I just buy the ammo. I did reload a little bit, plus it's too cold for me to go out in the garage and reload. But I'll be working on some things here once the weather gets good. I don't want anything that is registered with the government, tax or no tax. Okay. My neighbor's got, and he has all kinds of suppressors, and he had a short barrel shotgun he got from with some police department thing. But I don't want anything registered. I don't want to have nothing to do with it, with the 200 or not. The less I have registered with the government, the better. So I'm not going to get anything. I know it's a big deal. Everyone's going out and getting, and he did tell me it used to take him 6 to 8 months, even longer, to get the paperwork done. He had somebody build for him, one of the local gunsmiths, built him a 1022 with the integral suppressor. It looks like a little bull barrel rifle. Neat gun, but he waited almost 8 or 9 months for it. Yep, even a very slow. Well, I haven't been doing any reloading or looking for any powder. I'm pretty well stocked up on what I need. So I don't even look. Okay, so I don't know. And I haven't been inside a big box store in quite a while. Most of these budget guns I'm testing, I'll buy online and get them sent to me. So I haven't even been in a local gun store in months. Yeah, I know what you mean. But yeah, I ain't gonna, because that can change. The way it is with pistol braces and that the short barrel, they should just eliminate it. Okay, they should just eliminate all of it. Eliminate the registry. Eliminate it all. Okay, because it's like the shotguns, the Mossberg Shockwave. I mean, you're getting something that should be a NFA item, but they work around in this. So they've already hollowed out the law into a meaningless bunch of crap. And the politicians don't want to abolish it because then there's psychotic gun control support and people won't vote for them no more. No, I don't. Smith, Rewald. Yeah, see what I mean? I mean, it's a lot of hassle. And if you find a person that specializes in doing it, I'm not saying they're not going to do a good job, but it's going to cost you. You know, and then you got an odd firearm that when you try to go sell it, uh, you know, it's not going to sell that either. A lot of people might want it, but when you start telling them what you have into it and what you want to get for it, then then you're going to find out these things aren't that fun. Good morning. M9128. Yeah, that ain't bad. You know, there's still a bunch of them around. I'm amazed at how long they must have brought a ton of Carcanos in because they've been still you can still find them fairly reasonable. The problem is the ammo. Okay, the ammo. The ammo's expensive as crap unless you reload it, and even when you reload it, it's expensive. And then once you get ammo that's accurate, people kind of the sight system is a little bit mind-boggling for some individuals. And believe me, I've owned 30 guns, and they can say whatever they want, 300 meters, 400 meters. None of them shoot the same. Each gun kind of shoots somewhat individually because you don't know if the sights have been tampered with or screwed with or whatever. So that's kind of why I think they're not as popular as they could have been. Yeah, you go to the hell is his name? Oh, he's up there by Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Bobby Hoyt, I think, is his name. I had him do a 50-70 barrel for me in an old trapdoor, and he does a fantastic job. You know, the only thing is he's so backlogged. Okay, uh, it takes forever. But there's somebody that went and had a Vernal carbine that was shot out, and he went and redid the thing for the guy in 4440 so he could shoot it again. But yeah, if you get them done by a guy that knows what he's doing, they're okay, you know. But you can't get barrel liners for like 22s you can do. The older cartridges that really ain't spitting a bullet out fast, you can do. I don't know if they reline barrels for more modern high pressure cartridges. I don't know if they do that or not. But 22s and the old stuff, yeah, you can get it done. And you got a new gun at that point. Morning 314. Oh, hold on. Is it snowing up there? It's snowing like crazy in central New York where I used to live. No, the XM16E1, I'm getting 1 and 12. I'd get them all in 1 and 12. It's just like I explained in the video when I built that gun. The 1 and 12 barrel wasn't available. It was a 1 in 7. So, and it was going with the black. You know, they had an upper that didn't have M4 feed ramps. Some of these barrels have M4 feed ramps. So I just did it because I wanted to get the thing built, you know, and not wait 7 months. And that's why I went with the 1 in 7. But like I said, I want to see how that old sight system, because on XM16E1 and on the 601, it's all the same. Probably even the same maker of the barrel, a 1 in 12 twist. So I'd like to take one of them older ones out and shoot them with the 1 in 7. Because I got an A2 style built I did years ago. I shot it several times. I already got an A2, and that's got a 1 in 9 in it. I'd like to see what that pencil barrel would do with the 1 in 7, but I don't want all of them. Well, actually, I had something else, and the only choice I had was 1 in 7. But more on that one when we start getting into the other builds. Did you do it? Did you mail it in, or because something about the way you do it online, they're shutting the computers down for a period of time there, or something? There's a lot of, you know, I don't know. Because after the first year, it all starts, and then they did this BS where supposedly the online filing. I've seen a couple videos on it. That's why I don't want to fool with it. It's just, you know. Gordon Carbine clone now. Mark 12. All right. Yeah. Well, those are fun, but like I said, I don't want nothing registered. You know, the suppressors. And another thing, you know, what do? I'd have to sell them all before I pass on, because my heirs live in a state that do not allow suppressors or ARs, as a matter of fact. Uh, yeah, there's a pawn shop that has that set up that if you wanted a suppressor, I think it's a deal where you buy it and they do all the paperwork for you or something. There's some place that advertises that. The guy's got a setup there where you could use that service right in the shop. I seen it or something. I don't know the details on it or how the hell it works. If you're loading black powder, you know, just run it up, not all the way in the size. See, it's hard. I got a full length sizing guy, you know. You'd have to have somebody make a neck sizing die, custom one, depending on the bullet. See, what size bullet are you using? What dies are you using? Are you actually using Dutch Beaumont dies? Or are you doing some weird combination of shit? Uh, I really can't answer that question because that's kind of custom work, you know, and thumb seated. I don't load them with black powder, so there is no pressing down on a black powder column with me. So I neck size and, I full length for size and crimp them all. Lead free. Oh, it's like the old Teflon bullets back in the 80s. They banned them. And I couldn't for the life of me figure out what they were talking about, because they were up for a while and then they got rid of them before I could find out anything about them. And like the guy said, all they do is cast a bullet or shape it or mold it in a 9mm. made out of Teflon, which don't weigh nothing. And you load it in a cartridge with a standard 115, 124 grain load, and it drives that lump of Teflon. I guess it reacts well enough to where it can go down the barrel and fly out of there, to where the velocity is so high, it'll punch through some lighter body armor. Is this what you're talking about? Some kind of lightweight bullet that's going through body armor? Okay. M16E1 that I'm going to buy does not have M4 feed ramps. Number one. Number two, the reason I want a 12 twist rate is to be accurate to the retro clone. The only reason I varied from this is because unless you want to wait to get one with 1 and 12, you usually can find a version or an upper in 1 and 7. I kind of took the 1 and 7 because the 1 and 12 at the time was sold out and not available. So I said, to hell with it. I come up with the idea, and I didn't go with all gray, okay, with the build. I went with black because I had all the little leftover pieces that were black. Instead of screwing around trying to get gray like the trigger guard, I went with black with the A1 and a 1.7 barrel. And they had the lower receivers marked M16A1 in the black finish. Now, if I wanted to go and do one in gray, right now, all the uppers in gray are sold out at H&R. Okay, so I have to wait until they come in, or whenever they do another run of a specific, there are two versions, one with, one without forward assist. So whenever they get another shipment, then I can think about putting together another build. All right. And I got an upper on a deal, on a sale. Okay. And the reason I got it on a discount and a sale is because it wasn't moving and it had a 1 and 7 twist rate. The 1 and 12s were all sold out. And so they wanted to get rid of these, and they lowered it like, I think, $50. They took off. So I got that in a 1 and 7. Okay. And it does have M4 feed ramps. And another barrel I was looking at has M4 feed ramps, but none of the gray uppers have M4 feed ramps. You'd have to get a black A1 upper. Okay, so there's a lot of bullshit and screwing around doing this, depending on, like I said, on how retro or how to the criteria of the retro or the model gun you want to go. A bunch of one fire brass, 300 PPU, 50. Yeah, that's because if you go and get them new, even a PPU brass, if you get them new, the Swiss, they're $1, if not over $1, brand new. So even at 50% and then the PPU, yeah. If you figure about $44, that's not a bad deal. Because if you had to buy that new brass, okay, you'd go well over that with the amounts that you are talking about there. And PPU is the best brass to get for the 6.5 or the 7.35 ramps. Yes. Okay, so it's a lighter bullet. That's what I'm asking. Lead-free ammo. Is it lighter? Is it because the only thing that would punch through the armor is the fact that in a standard cartridge the velocity is way higher. What version is it? Is it an A1 or is it an A1, A2? Does it have a forward assist? Yeah, you can talk to me about it. I might pick it up because I got a couple things I'm planning to do, and when I'll get around to them, that's another thing. You got to accumulate these friggin' parts as you go along. But yeah, do you know my email? Cap and pin the front sight. Uh, yeah, like I said, there's a way of doing it. The proper way of doing it is a pain in the ass to put the pins through sideways. That's why I just buy the strip barrel assemblies. And the A2, that should be easy to find because the one I did well, it was years ago. You should be able to find some sort of a A2, which is government profile barrel, uh, you know, there. It's not enough. The one I got there was that was from Delton, and Delton's closed. All right, A1. Does it have a forward assist or not? Um, because the A1s they either are slick sides or forward assists. Message. Let me see how I'm going to do this. Do, 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 do. Do. Well, if any of you have to contact me, all right. Yeah, if any of you guys got to contact me, I have a full length Yeah, if you anneal them, I mean, like he was talking about that brass. See, I don't know if he's loading black powder and just pushing them down with his thumb or whatever the hell. And actually, depending on the diameter, just run it up the sizing die without the primer, and that would crimp it. But see, I don't know which size bullet he's using, what kind of dies he's using. Keep looking, maybe in the wrong places. Yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky to find parts. And yeah, if any of you need to contact me, it's kovafornine@yahoo.com. You know, because if you send me annoying, stupid emails, I just block you. So, if you got to get a hold of me, that email's been up there and it's been there for years. Feel free, send a question. I may miss it because, like this week, there'll be a couple days I may not check the email. So it ain't like I'm pissed off at anybody or anything. It's just sometimes I get overwhelmed. Well, they fucked with the wrong people. That's about it. And the thing is, all that stuff's made on a level has nothing to do with the government or politics. It all comes down to money. And when they start screwing around, they told them leave. And everybody goes, they're overstepping this and that. But he's not recognized by enough different governments. Okay, the old Western bloc prior to communism, to where it is not a criminal act. Okay, you have to understand on an international level, and when money and oil is involved, the friggin' rules don't apply. But no, he should have stepped down. He didn't, much like Gaddafi, Saddam, and Manuel Noriega. Okay, so it's the same story over and over again. Nothing new here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're paying $80, $90 for a pound of powder. That's why I think I'm just going to use up the material I got with what I can load with it, and not, uh, do it. Yeah, I know that. I just don't have the money. Okay. That's kind of the problem. I understand it's in stock. That's the one I want. All right, so did you get the email there? MAGA Gunico 7994. Did you get that email? And like I said, any of you want to contact me about something, use that email right there, that one. It's still in a lot of my videos. People do send me stuff every now and again. Yeah, $80. And you got to pay $30 hazmat, $25, $30. So you're well over $100 a pound. Well over. Yes, they are. That is a very true statement. Yeah, there's a lot of other retro guns out there. I have a couple of them. I got the Century C308 or whatever. I got the Mark Lamar Setme L, and I got the Setme C. You could say those are all retro guns. I'd like to get an FNFAL. Well, I'm going to do because see, the funny thing about them, like when H&R builds them, it's like they build some, then they kind of stop or don't, or make a different model or something. And they work like on one thing and then build a few of them, have them in stock, and go back to another. So it's tough with them. You know, you can see one like Brownells, they stopped making them. So, you know, the complete guns, you can get uppers, but not the complete guns. Yes, I've always said, okay, some powders are less, all right, because they're either not selling or they, for whatever reason, even without the crisis, there is a difference in prices of 1 pound of powder from one brand or type to the other. That's always been there. And why it has to do, I don't know, manufacturing something, I don't know. But most of the stuff I got is blems, you know. I really don't know what the blem means. A scratch, discoloration, mismatch, or whatever. And sometimes the blem, the price is only like 20, 40 bucks, you know. But don't bother me. You know, blems don't bother me. I bought a lot of stuff off there that's blems and really nothing I can't see. And anytime, by the time I take it out to the range and once or twice, it's already a scratch and a blem. Morning. Powdered coffee creamer. Yeah. Yeah, see, I don't go for that. If I'm gonna get the originals, I'm gonna use the iron sights. That's the way to go. You know, but if you want modern optics, yeah, get one with the rail welded on there. All right. Okay, let's see. All right, you talking just the upper itself? No bolt carrier, no nothing, just the upper receiver with the forward assist in the door on it. Is that what we're talking about that you want to sell? Oh yeah, I mean you can get some of them. Now's the time to go looking for used ones. Yeah, I bought it. It's some kind of that M7 bayonet is it's made for Smith and Wesson, M&P, probably made in China. It's $25. Okay, the one I had that was original from back in the 80s or something, and I sold that thing for well over two and some change. Okay, so to me, getting rid of my actual old M7, you know, gives me some room for retro guns. You know, the bayonet's more of a window dressing. You know, got to ask yourself, when do you really use it other than just for display? All right. That's why bayonets I don't have. I used to get the rifles with the bayonets, but then they don't fit in the safe and I don't hang stuff on all the walls. Okay. So having the bayonets, they just all set in a box somewhere and rarely, if ever, go on the guns. And the reason I got that one, it didn't cost a lot and it looks good as a prop when I make the videos. It gives it that retro thing, and I'm only out less than 30 bucks. C3. Is there using them sites on set me sites with that stupid groove in that? Yeah, because they're even on my set me C. It isn't. But if you got the HK sites, if you got one built on a H&K kit with the HK sites, it's good. A1s do have forward assist. Yeah, I don't need the rail uh, or whatever. Or just tell me what you're looking to get, just like for the upper with the door and the thing and the rail, what you're going to need. I'll get back to you maybe later today. Doesn't come. Don't know. Don't know at all. But it's a very dangerous situation. That's what I do know. You know, any kind of powder and canisters. I've seen guns blow up and people get hurt over that shit. On to big A. Yes, yes, it was on. It's on Amazon. You can find them. It's a guy down in Florida. He must have bought a whole case of the damn things. Yeah, I don't have trouble with them. Actually, I see them better with some of them. I see better without the glasses on. Yeah, but I believe he said stored in powder with Sharpie over the type. Okay, I don't like cans that have something written over the top of what was on the can. Oh God. Oh. All right, yeah. During the week, I got something I got to do. Just send me an email of what you got or what you're looking to get rid of and what you need for it, and I'll get back to you. And take your time. If it's sometime during the week, there's no hurry. There's no hurry. Well, it could be from pull downs, or it could be they used to sell military surplus powders. Okay, you don't know. Okay, or like a pull down. See, that's why anything put in a new canister wrote over, unless I was the one doing it or I knew for sure, I wouldn't trust it. But it's up to you. You can experiment with it. Well, H308, it's been around for a while. You got to go look up the history of it and find out what year they introduced it, and it could have been used ever since then. But it's a military powder, probably. I don't know when they used to sell that stuff off in the 50s, 60s, post World War II. You never know. Um, See, that's the thing when somebody says, "Oh, well, we did this. Here's this, and here's what it is." Yeah, that's kind of true. I don't mess with anything. Somebody sent me an old tin, a powder, an IMR powder, and it was filled right up to the very top of the when I took the cap off, which is not normal. So I don't care if it is, isn't. It just got dumped. And stuff I pulled, I have no idea what it's a ball powder or it was stick powder. It could be this, it could be that. Pull it out of old 30-06. Nah, just get rid of it. And the cartridges are old too, so stuff that's been around for you know 75, 80 years. That'll work. That'll work real good. That'll work real good. Hmm. There you go. Something for Christmas. Let's take a look. H308. Okay. That's more of a varmint powder. I don't know if it was used by the military in that. So I don't know where you guys may be getting that. Okay, it's all I can find. don't know the history and that on it. You have to kind of look up the history of those things. I don't know. I bought them when all the metal ones. I got a whole giant box of AK mags, and they're all either Polish or Russian or Yugoslavian. I don't have any polymer ones. Or what one did I use? The one that came with the new gun had one in there. Uh, there's some out there that are good, but I don't have. I've never bought any really. I had one with that one gun. That's gone. I don't know. It looks like it's for varmint cartridges. Yes, they are. They all work good. Bulgarian. I think I got some Romanian ones too. All kinds. Well, it was 4320. I don't know. Uh, I used it for a while. It's an older powder, and if sales were down, I think they just got rid of it. Actually, it's equivalent somewhat to Varget, so you could use Varget, or I think 4220 is close enough. What I was using it for, I could just use. I can't remember the names right offhand. Yeah, it looks like they're not. Now, here's the thing. If this is not an equal equivalent, but something close that you can substitute 40, 60, yes, is close. That's you can use it if you got load data. And then they said that this powder had a similar burn rate to Varget, which Varget's pretty good. I've used that. Uh, but yeah, if you were using that for something, see if you could find a load with 4060, IMR 4060, or with Varget, and he should get similar. It's you know just as accurate with that powder with the proper load data. Okay, you're not bringing the SRs or any of that old powder back ever again. I doubt it very much. I know because I had a use for that. 4329 or 4320. Yeah, I know. I had a good load with that too, but that worked up something else. Okay. Well, guys, I'm gonna probably call it quits. I have a busy week ahead of me, and I have some things I got to do. So we're gonna cut this one short. I will see you next Sunday. Thanks for coming, and have a good rest of the day.